Clap for Aidan, everyone. Hello, everyone. Like you said, my name is Aidan Cunniffe, and I am a recovering teenager. Yes, recently turned 20, so those dangerous years are finally to a close, or at least that's what they want to think. I'm going to keep this streak alive. So I'm sure many of you, a lot of parents in the audience, it looks like, have experienced the teenage years. Is that true to say? So you've taken it from a different perspective than mine, but from the first-hand perspective, I think one thing I learned really well, and you guys tell me if this isn't true, but the teenage years are the rebellious years. There's a lot of opportunity to make your own self during that time. And looking back at it now, and I'm getting all nostalgic, having my 20-year-old midlife crisis, but I'm realizing a lot of things from those years that have been important to me. So I wanted to share a few of those things I've learned and what I kind of think they mean, although, you know, make your own assumptions. So I think the first piece of my teenage years that was really important to me was a spectacular moment. I think most people have had this at some point in their lives when you realize your parents aren't right about everything. That's huge, and it can happen when you're 5. That might freak the 5-year-olds out. It can happen when you're 50. That's a little more sad. But I think it happened for me when I was, you know, in my very early teenage years, 11, 12, 13, something around then. And I really realized, you know, parents are great, love my parents, but they don't have to be right about anything. And recognizing that that didn't really scare me was huge. You think about it, you know, these people, you know, were the ones who picked up the sun in the beginning of the day and, you know, held it up high in the sky, and then they took it down at the end of the day. And that's how you think of your parents when you're growing up. And to think that, you know, they might not necessarily be right about everything is a huge moment, and it really opens the doors. I think that's probably the most important moment in most people's teenage years. And for me personally, that led to some interesting things. I mean, my parents have 9-to-5 jobs. They like what they do, but I knew I didn't really want to do that. I was obsessed with people like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, and I wanted to be an entrepreneur. You know, I knew that from a very early age. I started taking computers apart, working on my own little projects, going against the curve, you know, getting a C or D in a few classes in high school because I was too busy, you know, working on my side project, you know, all highfalutin with my side project. But, you know, it meant a lot to me. And there were other things too, like philosophy. I remember during the scandal here with the Catholic Church and the priests a few years ago, I was sitting in church and I heard one of, they were talking about, you know, how this is okay and trying to, you know, answer for it, I guess. And I remember standing up in the middle of it, and I just walked out. And it was, you know, I was afraid when I was there. I was like, oh no, I have to get in the car with my parents after this. You know, I'm going to sit down and it's going to be awkward. Then a funny thing happened. My mom came out and she joined me. And she encouraged me to, you know, take my paces and to see what I really liked. And I went out and I literally tried every single religion, every single philosophy. I, you know, went to all these different types of ceremonies, met some really interesting people. And it sort of opened up this creative period in my life when I started to think about the world as just this one big place. And I never really thought outside of my small Chester County world before. So I got a really good worldview by doing that. And then, you know, it was cool because I think a lot of parents wouldn't have been okay with that, and my parents were, and they encouraged me, and they always have been, to go out there and figure out what I actually want to do. And they're encouraging me now. 20 years old, like I said, just finished up my sophomore year at Syracuse University, and now I'm taking time off from college, possibly indefinitely. We'll see how things turn out. But I'm pursuing a company I started. I have a few employees now. We're growing pretty quickly, and I think it could actually be something I could follow through with. So I'm taking time off from college to pursue that. Really tough choice. I mean, it's risky. I'm sitting in class with people who are thinking about finishing, you know, all 4 years before they even start thinking about what's next. And here I am as a sophomore. I, you know, just made this huge choice. And it's going to either work out really well or it could explode in my face. But either way, I'm doing something I want to do. And I think that's a really important dividend that came out of my teenage years, was gaining the confidence to do that because of the amazing support of parents and friends, and just being told over and over again, Aidan, do whatever you want, make it good, and at the end of the day, make us proud. So trying to do that. My dad, you heard him earlier, Peter. Hopefully I didn't embarrass him too much tonight. But you know, that's part of being a rebel. So thank you guys, and be rebels, go out there, and change the world. Let's do it.